This is Candice from Thunderbird Sky, and I'm here with you, bringing you the angel card reading for the month of October. So I've already pulled the cards. This week I am using Doreen Virtue's Angel Fairy deck. It's one of my favorite decks, actually. I love her fairy cards. They're quite beautiful. The cards are, the artwork's really awesome on these. So, and like all of her cards, they're just generally wonderful. So I've done the reading already, and I've kind of checked into seeing what's going on with the energies for the next month. So we'll just get right into it. So the first card, it's interesting, there's actually two cards in this reading that have a very similar meaning to them. This first one, so it's the Two of Summer. Okay, you can see that there. So I'll just kind of read what it says in the bottom, and then I'll give you my intuitive impression on what's happening here. Falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone, forgiveness, and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. So what I'm, and the other card at the very end of this reading also has to do with falling in love. So it's really interesting that both those two cards came up in the same reading. So, so the falling in love aspect of things, that could actually mean a couple of different things. It could either mean literally falling in love or falling in love with somebody all over again if you're already in a relationship. But it could also mean sort of falling in love with life. Things have been really difficult with the economy these days. And so, you know, there's been a lot of stress for a lot of people, a lot of uncertainty. And generally over the past 6 months, energies have sort of been improving. The economy's been improving a little bit, or so they say. And so what it feels like for this particular card, and this is sort of for the first week of October, it feels like there's a lightening of the energies coming in, a little bit more so than up to this point. Just feels like just generally something new coming in. So just what I'm sort of getting from this is just be aware of, you know, signs and signals. Particularly one thing I teach my students is that your higher self will speak to you through your intuitive feelings, your heart center. And when you're following your intuitive guidance and looking out for signs and signals that you're going in the right direction, listen for what feels right, for what feels good, or you know, more good, so to speak, than, you know, something else, another path might be. And you don't even necessarily have to know why a particular path or particular decision feels right. You just need to know that it feels right, and that's your higher self telling you to follow that path. So the more you follow that journey, the more positive things are going to start coming in into your world. But this generally, you know, on top of that, just feels like the more you do that, like things are really starting to lighten up, and that will really continue if you start to, you know, listen to your intuition, follow your inner guidance, and trust that process as well. Because sometimes it can be difficult to trust the process, especially if your intuition is telling you to something that might be a little bit risky. You know, falling in love, for example, is, you know, it's kind of one of those big, leaps of faith, so to speak. But what I'm getting from that is that things that are coming, opportunities that come up in the next little while will be positive leaps of faith. If it feels right, follow. If it doesn't, don't, basically. But there's just generally a real lightening of energy, which could involve actually falling in love, which would be great. Or just falling in love with life in general. So the next card, which would be for week 2, we got the Three of Spring. All right, so spring is also renewal. I know right now we're into fall. But the energy of this card, again, just kind of very similar to the first one, is new things coming in. Right now we're in the fall, so the harvest, so the reaping of all the hard work that we've done, which often can lead to new opportunities and things like that. So now I'll read what it says on here. Plan your steps with an eye to the long term. Have patience. There's more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. So again, have patience. There's more good things to come. So as what the first card was talking about, more good things are coming. More good things are coming. It's just going to get a little better and a little better. I know for myself, I don't know about you guys, but I know for myself, last year was extremely difficult. And 2017 seemed like it started off with a real downturn. And but for the past 6 months or so, things have been slowly lightening up and lightening up and lightening up, and the stress is getting less and less and less, which is great. So there's more of that to come. So second week in October is just going to get a little better. But it feels like too, like it's, there's some planning that needs to take place. Long-term plans. What do you want to do with the rest of your life, kind of thing. So we're not talking about like this, like small decisions. We're kind of talking about, over the past few years, I get a lot of clients coming to me asking about like purpose stuff, and people, there's a general sense of like wanting to get onto like the life purposey kind of path, rather than just doing a day job or just doing things that you're not really happy with. And so there is a lot more of that coming in now. It feels like it's a bit of a planning time, and as we go into fall and into winter months, like just allowing those plans and those ideas to kind of ferment and solidify over the course of the winter. Meditate on what those next steps are going to be. If you get ideas and inspirations, write them down, that kind of thing. So there's some really positive. This reading doesn't just feel like it's October. It feels like there's like a long-term kind of feel to this. So this is going to be not just over October, but for the next coming months, maybe even years. But things are just getting better and better, and things are going to start really looking up in general for the world economy, hopefully for the world at large, in terms of even beyond the economy and side of things, because it's been really difficult pretty much all over the world lately. So start thinking about what you want to do with the rest of your life. And, the things that bring you joy are the things that you need to be following. So whether you do it as a career or it's just a hobby, I've gone back to be doing painting again, which, even though it's not a career, it's not a job that it's not something I, plan on doing for a living, but it's something that's fun. So that's more of what the energies are that are surrounding us, is doing things that bring you joy and that are fun, that are relaxing, that take your mind off of stress or anything that might be still going on in your life that's not, that's maybe a little heavier, and that'll help propel you forward a lot quicker. Okay, so card number 3, which is for week number 3 in October, we have the World card. And instantly, for those of you who do traditional tarot, which I do not do, obviously follow these and just you have a bit of an idea of what these cards might represent in the traditional tarot. So you might have other insights as well. This one here, so a brilliant success, freedom to go in any direction, a journey that's now complete. So even before I read that, I got this completion. So again, it's sort of one of those fall energies too. For everything we're coming out of the old cycle. We're kind of closing down the doors on the old cycle. We're coming towards the end of the year, and reaping the harvest of like the seeds we planted. Things are starting to come to fruition, and now we're starting to be able to kind of reap a little bit of the harvest of all the work and maybe a lot of the stress that we've gone through. I'm hearing that it will be worthwhile. This process is not going to be an easy. It's not going to be a short process, so it's not going to be all instantaneous. But things are lifting. It's slowly lifting a little more. And the success is coming. The dreams coming true. That stuff is coming. So again, more long term. This does have an energy of a little bit more long term reading, which kind of makes sense because we're a couple months away from the end of this year, and so things are kind of tying up and starting to move towards the long term, and these things are starting to come to fruition over time. So just in general, not just for October, but for the coming months, this is kind of a similar energy that's going to be going on, I'm getting, for the next little while, days, weeks, months, could be for a while. So things are just going to get a little lighter, but a lot of it has to do with, your energy and things like that. So starting to do those things that you really enjoy, rather than kind of focusing on, oh, I can't do these things, I can't do that, or I don't have time, or I don't have the energy. Start making small efforts to do the things that you really enjoy, and it'll help lift that a little bit more. The last card, as I mentioned earlier, another falling in love card. So Prince of Summer. Okay. And instantly relating back to the traditional tarot, this would be the Cups suit. I believe the red, the spring one, I think that would be Wands, I do believe. I don't know enough about tarot, so correct me if I'm wrong. So we have a lot of emotions going on. Of course, the world was one of the major arcana type cards. So, but again, we have falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. I'll read some of the other words here: romantic, captivating, dramatic, flirtatious. So whether this falling in love means literally, and whether it's you're in a current relationship and you're falling in love all over again, or it's a new relationship, or it's just falling in love with life again, or falling in love with yourself, which I'm kind of getting there's some of that going on there too. The image on this card is quite interesting because we have this little fairy creature, and she looks like she's kind of, I don't know if any of you guys watch Harry Potter, but the broomsticks, they fly around playing Quidditch. It's kind of like she's got a little bit of that going on here. Looks like she's having a riot, flying around in her little dandelion puffball. So this is about kind of having fun and enjoying yourself and falling in love with life, which again, for the past quite a while, it's been pretty rough for most people. And so that's really coming to a close and starting to really enjoy life again. So that's definitely some really good stuff that's coming in. But again, it all comes down to choices you make. If you're choosing to stay stuck in the mud, that's exactly what you're going to get more of. So focusing on the positive and focusing on, it's still, I always temper that with a little bit of like, don't ignore, things that are bothering you. Don't ignore, I kind of work a little bit with the shadow side a little bit. Don't ignore that part of your being because it's an important part, but don't get stuck in that. So doing those fun, joyous things that kind of get the energy moving a lot more. So that's the reading for the month of October. And again, similar energies for the coming months. It looks like things are going to get really interesting. Hopefully you enjoyed that and get something from that. If you do want to book a session with me, I do private sessions. I do Reiki as well as readings either by phone, Skype, in person. Feel free to visit my website at thunderbirdsky.com. And you can book a session, give us a call, book a session. My partner also does body work, which is wonderful. So if you have any aches and pains, it's great stuff. So, all right, so that's it for the day. And we will see you again next month. Have an awesome day. Thanks. Bye.